Hello and welcome to Rock Paper Shotgun. This is Alice and I'm here to take you on a cruise through Flotsam, the cutest water-based city builder I've played this year. It's not the only water-based city builder you'll play this year. Buoyancy arrived on Steam last month, but it is the only one with a friendly seagull or two. Oh, and it arrives on Early Access on September 26th. Technically, Flotsam is shipwrecked junk you find floating in the sea, but here is any material you scavenge to build a new city for drifters in a flooded world. It's cartoonish and focused on being a fun city builder first, but also offers a subtle commentary about the state of our planet. Alright, it's not that subtle. It's a submerged world having to rebuild itself from all the crap that got chucked into the briny blue. SwimCity, if you will. The art style is adorable and the backstory is terrifying, but you'd be unwise to let this game float right past you if you're into post-apocalyptic city builders. Think of it as if someone popped Frostpunk in the microwave for a few minutes. Not only is it a lot wetter, but it's warmer to newcomers too. I'm going to talk you through the early access version and tell you why I think it's worth your time. And if you do enjoy this video, why not give it a like? There's an old sea shanty that goes something like, "Those who like and subscribe never get thrown overboard," or something like that. So you should definitely heed its warning and subscribe for good measure. There's no denying that Flotsam is an insanely adorable looking and sounding game. Its music is meant to sound as if the drifters themselves have made it, and its art style is heavily inspired by European comics and 2D animations, such as Les Triplets de Belleville, Moebius, and Don John comics. But underneath it all, quite literally underneath the surface, is the fact that all former civilization is lost. And just as its chirpy attitude masks that, so the Sega Blue Sea disguises Flotsam's stiff challenge. Flotsam doesn't really have a campaign. It's more of a survival game where you just progress through the map in order to get more supplies and scrape another day of existence on the ocean. Think Waterworld, but no one is drinking their own piss. There's no set campaign and the whole map is available to explore in one direction only. But once you reach the end of the map, you can get yourself started at the very beginning again. It's basically one big survival city builder. It kind of lulls you into a false sense of security with how cute it all looks, but I found it more difficult than I first assumed. With limited resources in each area, and loads of things to keep on top of, it can be a little overwhelming. You have to look after your drifters, aka your townspeople's needs, you have to make sure they have food, water, and preferably a bed to sleep on. No one wants to sleep on a gangway. You'll have to make sure food and water can cater for everyone, and you'll need to continue to build new things as and when they are needed. Early on you'll just have plastic and wood to work with, but soon you'll unlock metal scraps and your creations can get more intricate. It's got a handy little book which explains how everything works and helps you figure out how best to create your little floating city. But I mean really, it took me about 4 different attempts before I figured out how to make a working town. That shit is hard. I'm the same with nearly every city builder I ever encounter though, so I'm not massively surprised. It takes a while to understand the flow of the town and to figure out what's needed most and when. It didn't take long for me to nail it though. However dire their situation, the drifters just bounce along looking happy as Larry no matter how hungry or thirsty they are. Still, it's wrong to use their brave faces to justify slacking off, so you better collect resources. It was a slog getting my first water filter system and fishing boats built, but I soon realised that I was hesitating in certain areas for far too long. You see, Flotsam's map is made up of multiple areas, all with their own resources. These resources are finite and you need to plan carefully around them and what you can see. There may be other islands nearby with discoverable resources, research points, or new drifters or seagulls, but for the most part, what you see is what you get. That means if you can only place down a scavenging marker, which are buoys obviously, and can only select 30 pieces of wood and 10 pieces of plastic, then that's all you're getting. It's like when a shop doesn't have your size and the shop assistant says, "Sorry, we've only got what's out." This is similarly disappointing and you die of dehydration. Luckily, the game is aware of just how hard it is to get drinkable water while you're out at sea. I know, right? You're surrounded by water, just grin and bear the salt. So it occasionally throws you an abandoned water tower you can get to on the map. But you'll have to decide if you want to go to the water tower, rescue more drifters or seagulls, which means more mouths to feed and water, or visit an abandoned town, which means other good resources. The map usually gives you 2 or 3 next destinations to choose from, and you can't go back on yourself, so you have to choose wisely. Some destinations need only wind in your sail to get to your next destination, where others need oil to power through the waves, and oil is a finite source of power. Wind, thankfully, is not. Toot toot. Not Not only was it hard figuring out how best to use your resources, but the drifters have a mind of their own. As a Sims fan, I'm used to virtual idiots doing whatever the hell they like as long as I can offer directions. Autonomy is never off when I play The Sims, but I like to think I'm relatively okay at managing them. But the drifters? Despite their cute looks with their boxer shorts and single boot and their adorable sea-themed names, these guys give you a good idea how the planet got so royally screwed to begin with. My problem starts with managing workers' time. There's a management system which lets you choose who you want to focus on what. By default, drifters have level 1 interest across the board, in actions ranging from building to fishing to scavenging, but you can dial it up to 3 or down to 0. But even when I programmed in a carefully balanced work schedule, the nautical nincompoops would only perform an action when everything else was switched to 1 or 0. All this cost me valuable water filtration time, but it was hard to care too much when it was the drifters' own fault. I guess you could say I gave 0 fucks when what you needed to do was set me to 3 fucks. But like I said, the drifters are colourful characters, way nicer than the bastards in Frostpunk who ended up steaming me to death. As you get into the swing of working as a team, you begin to recognise them and put names to faces. I rarely get invested in city builder populations, so it's a nice feeling. Some have quirks, they might be quicker at certain tasks or need less food, which adds another layer of personality and strategy. But just as I take my foot off the gas to enjoy Fishy rolling back in on the waves after she'd gone fishing, production hits a snag elsewhere and everyone starts dying of thirst again. You can just right-click on the notification to get rid of it, but their dead bodies lie over the gangways. A horrific reminder of what happens when you slack off. Can't we just roll them into the sea? Who would know? It's not like there's much dry land for them to wash up on. The part of Flotsam I expected to be most comfortable with was the actual town management and placing buildings and workshops down in the best possible ways. More fool me. When you're surrounded by water, it's quite difficult to know where best to place gangways, beds, storage rooms and drying racks. You want your resources to be close to whatever they power. For instance, firewood should be near the water filtration, but you also want your workshop near your dry wood, so you need wood drying racks to be nearby, and soon enough you've built a giant floating factory and one with strict space limitations. You have a clear line to build within, and using straight gangways to build within a circular space is tricky, but in a fun way. I enjoy plonking down awkwardly shaped pathways, all trying to connect while making room for buildings. Luckily, drifters are good at shuffling past one another, so they don't actually shove friends into the sea. But again, who would know? I don't see any sea police in this build. Anyway, you also earn research points to better your town or speed up processes, like having a solar-powered water filter system or a cooker for tastier fish. There are no upgrades to specific buildings, but you can add another process alongside pre-existing ones to help your town become that much more worthy. It's funny though, the town management was actually the least of my concerns, as I thought it would be the drifters who I'd barely connect with. Sorting the town out was the easy bit once you got over your watery restraints. Sure, it didn't look very nice, but it was functional and it did the job it needed to. Though saying that, did it really? When everyone kept dying? Who knows. When I start my 800th save file, I'm sure I'll finally figure out what the problem is. Please note, the current common denominator is me. As I mentioned, the game is currently in early access and is expected to be in early access for a long old time, just cruising along, riding the waves, you know? That said, it's exciting to look ahead at some of the things the team at Pajama Llama want to include. The main things they are looking to include are things like being able to scavenge underwater, the use of electricity, bringing weather effects and environmental dangers, sadly no pirates. They are still working on the map as they want to eventually show the route you've taken to create a road trip feeling, with each new save being procedurally generated with a new world, different resources and choices. The map is a key part already at keeping you moving, so it makes sense to focus even more on this. There's also no day-night cycle, which I found oddly jarring, but it is something they have spoken about a lot and is currently on hold, but it's good to know that it might be coming in the future. It'd also be nice to see a peaceful mode, where you can just kind of float along minding your own business, and not have to panic that as soon as your last drifter finally takes their last breath that your game will be over. The idea of this could be within difficulty levels, which is again something that may come into the game in the future, along with friendship/morale levels among drifters. It'd make those deaths even more sad. Imagine if they could form friendships, families. Oh god. Flotsam is a city builder that doesn't just raise awareness to the climate crisis, but also says, hey you lot, our world could very much be flooded soon and all we'll have to live off is our single-use plastic that has littered the oceans. That's my way of saying, Flotsam is a city builder that really speaks my language and makes my little environmentalist heart sing with happiness that there are people out there making games highlighting issues that mean a lot to me, and should mean a lot to many people. It's a game that first caught my eye last year because of their mascot of a seagull with a plastic ring stuck around their neck, and I have followed it very closely since. It's everything I could have wanted in a city builder set on water, and while it has a few things to iron out still, and a lot of good ideas in the pipeline, it's a very well polished, beautiful game. It plays well, it's fun, it's vibrant and nice. There are a few frustrating areas here and there, but every new save is a learning curve. Flotsam Pro Tournament when? If you enjoyed my breakdown of my Flotsam Early Access impressions, why not check out another of our videos where I go through all the city builders you should have on your radar. Or if me talking about The Sims pricked your ears, why not check out my latest review of The Sims 4 Realm of Magic. If you enjoyed this video, why not subscribe for more and give this video a like so I can pester Matthew to keep letting me make videos about games I love. Bye for now!